All right, you're asking for it, so here it is. Listen to this.
I want you fuckers laughing at we partners pod, kid. You understand? We in here drinking, singing, swinging, all that shit, dog. We sweating, getting wet, and all that.
All right, welcome to the 86th episode of the Drinking Partners podcast. Yes, this is our Hines Ward episode because NFL preseason is kicked off. I'm very excited. I try not to do Steelers. I've done a couple, but I got to shout out, I got to salute a guy who's a hard worker, dedicated to a squad, and I think that's what we do here. We work hard, dedicated to the team. We do all the little things that make a team go well.
Yeah.
How's that sound? And Dave's bald.
There it is.
And I've also
and
been,
light-skinned.
Well, I don't know if he's considered light skinned because he's like half Asian, so he's kind of dark skinned. He's light and dark. He's dark for his Asian side, and light for his black side. He looks exactly like what an Asian black man should look like.
Yeah.
I feel like he could like catch touchdowns and do a mean ass roundhouse. That's racist. Fuck. Hines Ward, jack of all trades. I saw Hines Ward at a couple clubs and shit. He was cool, I guess.
He was cool, yeah. He never stole any of my chicks, so I'm cool.
All right, we're not going to talk about women.
Favorite.
He's married. Like, I'm not going to start outing niggas.
I don't know what he be doing at the clubs. I just know he ain't doing any of my chicks. So that was cool. It was nice. I mean,
if you lose your chick to Hines Ward, then you got to take pride in the fact that you had that chick. You know what I mean? Like, Hines Ward's not taking any sevens off your hands.
Yeah, so, I guess.
Like, you got to kind of be like, well, you know what? If you're Eskimo brothers with a Hall of Famer or potential Hall of Famer, you're good to go.
Yeah.
Like, by all means, Hines Ward, hit one of my leftovers, or let me hit one of yours. Like,
Yeah.
oh shit!
Yeah,
Last episode, I was talking about wifey and the baby. Now I'm trying to hit Hines Ward's leftovers. I'm all over the place.
It's the second episode for anybody that's listening. So you know how these things go.
It's the second. But shout out to Hines Ward, man.
Sure.
I'm not so much of a hater that I don't recognize greatness, and I hope people do the same with us. Listen, if you work hard, you're dedicated to your craft, you too can be the Hines Ward of your field.
Truth, yeah. He's my favorite. He's my favorite Steeler. I think he's the best Steeler all around, hands down.
I don't think that's true. I think whatever. We're going to agree to disagree. But
I
I am half of your host in tandem, Ed Bailey. I'm joined as always with my co-host Dave Bracey. Say what up to the people.
What's good with you peoples? We are Drinking Partners, and if you're looking for us, you can find us on epicastnetwork.com/partnerspod. You can find us on IG, Twitter, and Facebook at Partnerspod, and you can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Libsyn, and Google Play under Drinking Partners. 86 episodes, man. You know what I mean? Guess what rate and review.
What time it is.
Rate and review,
you
man.
You know why I'm here.
hop on iTunes, man. Rate and review. You know what I mean? That's how we know what we're doing well. That's how we let others know that we're doing well. And that's how we continue to do well, man. So please take 30 seconds out of your day. Hop on iTunes, rate and review. And also, I mean, hit us up on like Twitter, Facebook, whatever, at PartnersPod. I mean, tell us what you like about the show. I mean, anything that we said that you didn't like, what we did like, and,
interact with us. Yeah.
We're
open to
reachable.
interaction online.
We talk to y'all. It ain't got to be a one-way thing.
We say a lot of fucked up shit on here, and please tell us what you think is fucked up that we say so we can argue with you.
Truth. Like, man,
I'm not changing my opinion.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to hear about horse dick. Like, maybe that's not the thing that you wanted to hear about the last podcast. if you're coming in,
if this is your first one, listen to 85.
85.
Because we don't just randomly talk about horse dick all the time. So I don't know why he chose that as an example, but it came up a little bit last time, which is I'm not proud of it, but fuck it, it's how it goes sometimes. But listen, you love us. You always tell us you love us when you see us. Go on the internet and tell the masses. That's all we ask. Mm-hmm. This is episode 2 of 2 of a day, and if you've been with Drinking Partners, you understand that shit's about to might could get a little bit crazy.
Shoulda, coulda, maybe. I don't know.
We done had a couple of these. We done had a few beers, and then we stopped for a second and smoked, and now we're gonna have more beers and talk to someone else who, I don't know, are we cheating our second guests, or are they the best guests because they get us like already lubricated?
It depends on how they interact with us. I mean, if they're not comfortable with it, then it goes bad for them. But it's always good for us. It's
always weird when you walk into a room with people who are already inebriated,
already turned.
Like, I got to catch up to y'all. Like, I'm already inebriated. I'm already open to all things, and you're still your normal self.
Yeah, it's like being a DD, like just annoyed you a little bit. You know,
every other Sunday we put someone in that predicament where they just
True. And just for like, and the thing that we don't usually do is explain, because you might just come in and you saw a guest, they brought you to the episode, and you don't know who the fuck we are. We're comedians, and we like to drink. We drink craft beer, craft liquor, and like we like to talk to people that are doing interesting things. So that's what we are. We're a craft beer fueled comedy podcast, and we get shit faced and we talk to your favorite people. So welcome to our podcast.
We are millennials of the highest order, and by that I mean we take things that we like and we monetize it, and that's what life is. And that's what they don't teach you in school. They try to teach you this bullshit social studies and chemistry. I ain't using no fucking chemistry in my life. When the last time I used some calculus? When the last time I did a net present value of some shit? I ain't never fucking done no shit like that in life, man. I'm out here drinking, making people laugh, and that's dope for me. And I hope it's dope for you listeners.
Yeah.
But again, second episode. So look, if you're not drinking, if you're on your morning ride to work, take that little shot that you got in your glove box, because I know you do.
Yeah, you do.
Because if you work a 9 to 5, you got what we call liquor for a bad day. You got stress liquor on tap. Like
you got glove box liquor.
Anybody working customer service, you got stress liquor somewhere.
Drawer liquor.
Yeah, you got. The first time I had a super stressful day at work and my manager pulled out some fucking liquor out of her drawer. I was like, oh shit, this shit is real. I know. Look, shout out to all the people working customer service who take their lunch break to go take a shot or a little pull of weed off the pipe.
Whatever gets you by,
you
man.
come in after lunch way more relaxed than in the morning. We were having this conversation yesterday. Listen, people, if you're around someone who's high, stop telling them they look sleepy. They don't look sleepy. They just look high, man.
Yeah.
I don't look tired. I look extremely high. That's what it is. Like,
that is the most like awkward shit, especially when like you're in a setting, like you're at work and you come in with the chinky eyes and you're like, oh man, you look really sleepy. You be like, shh, chill. Like,
I'm a grown ass man. I don't walk into work looking sleepy. I'm high. Like, come on, man. I've been working here for 14 years. You think this Tuesday I'm just tired? No, I'm high as fuck.
You got pink eye in both eyes? Like, nigga, chill.
Yeah, you got motherfuckers asking if you got allergies. Like, it's December 12th. It ain't a plant in the city. I'm high as fuck. All the plants around me have been burned and smoked. They've been set ablaze, and you're way more tolerable at this point. If you work with a person who's just giggling, he's high.
Yeah.
If you work with a person who doesn't seem affected by what's happening in the workplace, he's high.
Yeah.
If you work with a person who goes to the bathroom 7 times, he's high. You ever been high at work and try to check your facial expression? If you walk... Look, I used to get high, go to work, and go on eBaum's World, the website, play little stupid games. I'm high. Like, you walk past a dude's desk and he's on Yahoo. He's high. There's no reason.
He's still playing Minesweep.
He's still
or some
on
solitaire.
Yeah, like you using Yahoo as your search engine, fam? You high.
Oh shit. So we're drinking Southern Tier. That's the beer of the podcast.
The IPA, very good Indian Pale Ale.
Yeah, it's smooth. It's a little hoppier. What's the ABUs on it or the IBUs on this bitch? I don't. They don't say it on the can. If they say it on the can, I can't find it because I've had a few of these bitches. Though. Well, yeah, it's a 7%. We've had a few of these, so that's why I'm having.
So we're good. Look, you get 7% in the can. You don't think it's gonna hit you. It's gonna hit you.
Yeah, it's a slow creep. So shout out to Southern Tier for doing
slow creep,
good shit.
Yeah, just creeping. See, that's what happens on second episodes. You get fucked up. I start doing random show tunes and shit. God damn it.
It's
much more fun on the second episode. Like, it's just like we chilling now. I think we should do a pre-episode before we do the first episode and then be this on the first episode and completely shit on the second episode.
I don't know.
I don't know. That's true.
But what's good on beer news, man?
Well, last episode we talked about Southern Tier having the Northside location is opening, and now we have Stone Brewery, which is one of our favorites. Buzzy.
Shout out to Stone.
Buzzy actually loves Stone. Every time we do a show, Buzzy shows up with some Stone, but they're opening a 99-room hotel in a city in California that I cannot pronounce. I think it's Escondido.
Okay,
San Diego. Yeah, I think I pulled that off. And that's huge. I mean, you're talking about a tap room / restaurant based on craft brew, and they have a hotel. Like this craft shit is growing and blowing up, and we're happy to be a part of it.
That is the whole, man. You take you get some good food, some good drink, and you ain't got a DD. Like you cut out the Uber.
Pause. You can DD, dick her down. You know what I mean?
That's the only DD I need on deck.
All inclusive.
They are in front of the motherfucking curve with that one, man.
I wonder how come nobody's Facebook name has ever been all inclusive. That's so much swag. Ed All Inclusive Bailey. I'm giving you everything this weekend. Food, liquor, penis. What do you want?
Truth. That's what we do with our shows, man. We BYOB. We give you some brew. We give you music. We give you comedy. Shit, what the fuck else you need?
What else can you ask for? And it's like $15.
$15, you know what I mean? Shout out to Comtra.
We did Comtra again this weekend, yesterday, and people stumbled out of there again, and that's what we love.
Yeah.
I was very concerned, though, because at one point I asked everyone, like, who's a designated driver? And, like, of all the people in the room, 3 people raised their hands. Like, all right, so everybody got the Lyft app? Or what? We got to start getting insurance for these shows. Like, I can't be held responsible for your bad decisions. Yeah. So a rare bit of positivity on the show. If you drink, don't drive.
Yeah. There it is.
Unless you know your limit, then go ahead. No, let me not.
DDs, Ubers,
Oh, there's no reason. Listen, if you're getting a DUI in 2016, you're an asshole. You don't even have to. You don't even have to call. You don't have the excuse of they don't give cabs to black people or they don't. You just put a motherfucking on your phone and be like, I'm here, and they show up and take you home.
There was a study that was just done, and they were saying how like Uber and Lyft has not, played a factor in decreasing, DDs. And I'm like, that's crazy as fuck. Like, what I understand is like, now if you live in the suburbs, it's a little tougher because that's a fucking thing. But if you live in the city, man, like that shit is like half the price of a taxi. You know what I mean? Like you have an app on your phone. You can split that shit. Like there really is no reason, man.
I think what it is people don't like to leave their car places. And in cities now, man, fucking paying for parking. Yeah. You might be free the night that you're at the club, but then you got to get back to that car early in the morning.
Well, see, but that's the thing. But Uber is cheap enough to where, like, in most cases now, I get it, like with the rate inflations or whatever. But like, on an average night, like you're still paying half. So like, it's one trip in a taxi as opposed to a DUI. That's way more expensive than any motherfucking Ubers that you might be paying for. Any bullshit you're doing. It's safer and like it's convenient because it's an app. Like I remember, I hated the taxis because you would have to call a central station. Yeah. Chick she would call, we're sending the cab out, and if it was a busy motherfucking thing, you might not get, they would tell you they coming, but they might not come. Now,
I used to live in the Hill District out here. These motherfuckers would show up, and then it's like they ain't know I was going to the Hill, so they'd pick me up and be like, where you going? I'm like, to the Hill. Oh, I don't go up there. Like, are you here? Like, what you mean you don't go up there? Why you take the call, fam? I'm like, why did I tell them on the phone where I was going if you were going to show up blind to the fact that I was going to the Hill District? And why? Ain't nobody robbing cab drivers no more. Like, I'm not running up on a cab driver for your little $47, fam.
Yeah, because it's mostly card transactions. That ain't even worth my time these days, man.
Hey, come on, man. Fuck all them cab drivers who didn't want to take me to the Hill when I was living in the Hill District, man. Fuck y'all.
Truth. But
pussies.
Now you ain't got an excuse, man. You got your Ubers, you got your Lyfts, man. So we promote DDing, we promote healthy drinking, healthy, driving the whole nine.
Yes, sir.
I also wanted to shout out Beer League Talk. They're big promoters of the show. We're fans of them. They're big into hockey. I got a chance to meet up with Nick. He came down. They had an event down here in Pittsburgh, right around like the Stanley Cup or whatever.
Yeah, I tried to insert myself in that conversation. Then it went hockey, and I did the graceful bow out.
But yeah, they travel around. It's super dumb cool. Like they travel around different cities. They make different jerseys for each city that they travel to, and they basically like get shit faced and play hockey. And it's super cool. They ended up they shouted us out. Yeah. And a radio host out in Seattle, caught attention or whatever, posted on Facebook, and super dope whenever you see that chain of support. Like, because these motherfuckers is up in Canada. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then, like, they're talking about some shit up in Canada that happens to reach a motherfucker out in Seattle that comes back to Pittsburgh. Like,
the craft scene is growing.
Yeah,
man.
The craft scene, like the podcast scene, and just like that, that supporting, you know what I mean, like local and like just small type shit. Like, motherfuckers that like you said, the millennials that are, you know, doing their thing.
Shifting in that regard is like everybody's doing their own thing, and you got to support that because motherfuckers ain't trying to be corporate no more. People are trying to create their own corporate structure.
Exactly.
Like, why work for you and pay into a 401k because you gonna match when everything I take I can just put my 401k.
True.
Like,
you know what I mean?
I'm not saying
cut out
quit
the middleman.
your job. I'm just saying find a skill that you have and monetize that.
Exactly. So shout out to Beer League.
We're dropping jewels and being drunk. Look at us. Look at us on this second episode. Dropping jewels. Let me tell you something, and that's a perfect segue into our guest. We have an entrepreneur here in the building, an entrepreneur / entertainer / supporter of all arts and local activity.
We did a semi-live over at his spot.
You get a semi-live?
Hey, we did the semi-live.
We did the semi-live. Yeah, we had for the
Devin Moses.
It was Devin Moses. It was Ziggy and Stoff for that fucking festival.
Yeah.
God damn it. It's not
Layer Cake.
Layer Cake.
There it is, yeah.
Yeah, we did the Layer Cake Festival live cast.
Yeah, he's got connections through Dirty Art because Dirty Art, you know what I mean, came through and hooked even fucking spots up like with the art. So there's a lot of ties, man. A lot of
and that's
dope
what happens,
shit going
man. As
on.
long as you support local, you can find. That's the coolest thing about supporting local is you can find what you need through a network of individuals who all support local. And I've never done this, but I got to shout out Wifey and her Cocopreneur.
Yeah.
She's got the Instagram, she's got the Facebook, Cocopreneur. Focuses on small black businesses, try to get you connected with individuals who are trying to, do their own thing, pave the way for themselves, make a way for their family. So we gotta support local businesses. Me personally, I try to support the black businesses. Being African American and white people, you can support them too. You know what I mean? Like, don't want to alienate any of our listeners. If you're white, go ahead and spend your money with us. We've been spending our money with y'all for years.
True.
Like,
we've been buying the rounds for a while now.
They say everything's cyclical.
it's your time to buy a shot or two.
Come on, fam. You know what I'm saying?
We've been at the
but
bar
yeah,
for
shout
a
out to
minute.
Wifey. Let me tell you, Wifey's a wonderful individual, man.
I love your girl, man. She's cool as fuck. She's very, strong, and she's independent. And she believes in her shit. And Shea Butter Twitter, man, she's like that.
Shea Butter Twitter.
She hates that. But I mean, I say it as a term of respect, man. Like it's just one of those. It's a very prideful, moving forward, moving the people and the support. And I could see how the two of y'all. It's like a power couple type thing.
I think it's bigger, and I think it's bigger than just the fact that she supports black businesses. She supports small business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's a Black Lives Matter, All Lives Matter aspect to it, where it's like, all right, even if you don't agree with the Black Lives Matter aspect of what she's doing, all lives matter in the sense of get the small business, like Procter and Gamble, all those Walmart, they getting money, fam. You got to get these motherfuckers who are trying to support, to take care of their families.
Yeah,
your
neighbors, man. If you keep the money
in
in the neighborhood, like that shit'll keep coming around. Like like that's people don't get that shit. But
will you be my neighbor? But listen, this guy, he's got the Drip Lounge in Allentown, which I believe is where you're from, or you from this area.
Climax Street, yeah.
I did a fucking home equity loan for somebody on Climax Street. That's weird for me to say, but again, entrepreneur / comedian / all around connect in the city. We got Matt Thornton from Drip Lounge. Say what up to the people.
What up, drinking partner listeners?
Vape God.
That's the first time someone said that on the What Up to the People.
The drinking partner listeners.
Yeah.
He actually talked to y'all.
Yeah,
he actually named you.
He actually personalized
you guys.
You specifically.
If you just came in here on some random shit, he's not talking to you.
Yeah.
He's talking to the drinking
If
partner.
you're listening to us through some other various vehicles, you need to go to iTunes, Stitcher, Libsyn, or Google Play and click on our episode there so that you can be included in his hello.
If somebody is listening to this in the office on speaker, he's not talking to you. He's talking to the motherfucker that's actually playing it. Shout out to them.
Yeah, what up, man?
What up, man? I'm glad to be on here. I've been listening to you guys for a while. I actually performed with both of you.
Yeah, well, you got the 412.
412, yeah.
So so let's start with that now. What came first, the comedy aspirations or the entrepreneurial type of thing?
I did probably like 2 years ago, I did T-Robe's little contest, So You Want to Be a Comedian.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to T-Robe. Episode, what was he? Was he 4? Was he episode 4?
He's a couple. He's
been
there.
on a couple. He's episode 4, and then we have episode with him, Serenity, Wellsby, or I might have fucked up.
Yeah, no, that was it. That was Wellsby.
Yeah, so look out for T-Robe. Good guy, man. All around good dude, but yeah.
Yeah, and I just started doing it then, and then I started I got to the semifinals, and then I didn't make it, and I gave up for a little bit. Like I would always beat myself up because I didn't make it to the finals, but then I started doing it again, and I grew up with a bunch of funny dudes and hip hop artists, and that's how kind of the 4-1-tube thing came in. You know, I wanted to promote local hip hop artists and comedians. You know.
That's tough in Pittsburgh because we've touched on it in past episodes with artists that we had on, but the hip hop scene in Pittsburgh, it's tough because I've tried to put hip hop on my shows and I actually got kicked out. Shout out to Redbeards, fuck you guys. And I did a couple of shows out there.
Goes that.
Yeah, I did a couple of shows. Packed out the fucking house, packed out the house. And then had a rapper on for the last 10 minutes after half the crowd had already left. The rapper brought in 20 motherfuckers, and you know how black motherfuckers, they all buying Henny. Yeah, so they ain't even getting the cheap shit. They over there in the back. They boys on the show. They supporting. They buying shots of Henny the whole time. And then at the end, he did 10 minutes, and they were like, "Yeah, we're gonna go in a different direction." You know what I mean? So it's I know firsthand how hard it is to find promotion and venues and support for the hip hop scene.
That's kind of why we did Drip Lounge, man.
Yeah.
That way we have our own venue, and we could do our own shit and don't have to deal with promoters and all that, and venues.
Quick correction: T-Row was episode 11 and 57. Now you're over at Drip, so with Drip, I guess you still have the 412. It kind of do shows there and things like that. Then you have the hip hop shows, and how good does it feel to open a business where you grew up?
Yeah, especially it feels good, man. Especially I used to terrorize this community, man. I used to and what's crazy, I used to beef with Allentown. I was
now Climax Street, where you say you grew up, isn't in Allentown. That's not considered Allentown.
No, the part I lived on was Belsuver,
Suv.
Yeah.
Suv.
Yeah. I used to fuck with it's so funny. I used to fuck with this girl, and she was from here, and I met her in college. So we fucking with each other, and she's like, "I want you to come to this dinner with my family." I'm like, all right. And she's like, "But I just need to tell you, it's in Belsuver." And I'm just like, I don't know what the fuck that means. What does that mean? It's just not safe there. I'm like, why the fuck you invite me then?
It's not as bad as it once was, though, man.
Yeah, no, it's not.
It can't be, because if the girl I was dealing with, I was like, there's no way you came from a negative environment. It's just, I look at you and I think Lollapalooza or Lollapalooza, shit like that.
If she is in fucking range, then she grew up in the Suv. Yeah, and she grew up around bullets. That was the thing. Suv ain't no bullshit. There's a couple neighborhoods that I went on the unless street, I have to drive through the mid Homewood, the Hill, Suv, them the spots where unless I have to, if I get lost,
I went on the street and I felt good. I was like,
was it the daytime?
Oh yeah, but that's real nigga understanding right there.
Yeah,
I'm not going to no new neighborhood at night. Not when I wasn't even. I didn't have a car at that point.
Yeah, and you had a representative. You know what I mean? It's easier going into a new hood when you got somebody from the hood. You don't just be walking through.
I think it's easier to do that when you have a dude. If you're there with a girl, I think it's worse.
No, you get jumped at house parties.
Not even that, you just get. Not even just that. There's a jealousy factor. If you take the pretty girl from the neighborhood and you ain't from the neighborhood, they more upset with you. So
they had the new pretty dude in school. I always wanted to move to a new school, just so I could be the new pretty dude in school that used to get all the bitches and shit. But he was the same dude that always got his ass whooped.
I got jumped so much, man.
You was the new pretty dude?
Well, my mom would move me around thinking that the neighborhood was the problem, and it was just everywhere I went, I was the knucklehead, And like the thing was, I was always getting jumped to the point where I was good at getting jumped. Like I would take a couple people, I would take a couple people out first.
he had a strategy.
Plus, look, growing up, man, like there was a lot of times I was the only white dude.
Yeah,
and, like I had cornrows and I was all blued up. I had blue Dickies on, blue first down, you know.
Yeah,
blue shoes with blue suede, blue suede, blue suede, blue suede.
It's been Staples. Yeah, I like him, man. He's dope. But no, like it was tough, man. And then my mom moved me to Mount Washington, and I was like the only black white dude, and it was like hard to adapt.
We'll let that slide.
Yeah. There was a litany of other things you could have said that would have been more offensive. So we'll let that one ride.
Blackest white dude in Mount Washington. Which, for people who are in Pittsburgh, let me tell you something. When you get to Pittsburgh and you visit, they're going to show you Mount Washington. They're going to show you this small section of Mount Washington that's like this.
Yeah,
it's
like
wonderful
fantasy
view, and it's got all these high price condos.
That strip,
and then you're gonna
two
go.
blocks there.
You're gonna go
down a couple
in the
streets,
back like 2 streets, and you're gonna be
like,
back
oh,
in like
shit.
Little Haiti. Like, shit gets real behind that view. There's a reason why that view is facing the other way. They don't give you a view of Mount Washington. So, just as a point of reference,
Just stay on Grandview Avenue.
Exactly.
And Shiloh Street. Don't
stay
do it.
where they got ice cream shops. No, don't go where they got the ice cream man.
The No Limit reference.
No, so I think it's very interesting. Like, it's almost like a story of redemption. And we talked about this a little before, where you're a self-proclaimed knucklehead to a certain degree at some point. And you know,
I'm still a knucklehead, but
Yeah,
but not as bad.
But
You've learned to tame it.
You've been reformed to a certain extent. Like, you've been able to change your life into the positive. And I think that's a really, really powerful story, especially since you came back to, quote unquote, where you're from. You know what I mean? Like, to have like a positive small business to change your life. Like, how take us through the process of that, like where you realize like, yo, I gotta kind of go straight, and I gotta kind of do it myself, because based on some things that, you know, have happened, I may not be able to go the corporate route. I may have to go ahead and just do this myself. And like, how do you go about? How do you find the resources? How do you kind of get that to happen?
I mean, you want me to go through the whole process of
Go through as much as you're willing to divulge.
So yeah, I mean,
here.
So because I mean, you're growing up. I mean, like you're bouncing around, and then I mean, like you get into some shit. Right?
Yeah.
And you get out of some shit and you're like, how do I take the next step? So like, how's that process?
My wake up call to change my life was like when I went to jail, you know, and I was like, I was tired of hurting the people close to me, you know, and I was tired of like being a selfish prick, and I went into jail, and when I went into jail, I was like, I seen older dudes on the pod walking around like twice my age, like it's the coolest shit in the world to be in jail, and like this wasn't my first time in jail, so I was like, I played the tape, man, and was just like, do I really want to keep doing this? You know,
right? Because I think you can get caught up in that cycle.
Yeah,
and
it's weird easy to get caught up in the cycle.
It's weird how in certain communities, like, jail can be viewed as a badge of honor. Like, yo, I went in, I did my time.
Yeah, it's like a stripe on your sleeve.
It's like you get your Boy Scout stripes on your sash. But like, it takes.
But that's for motherfuckers that don't have, like, they don't have shit else.
Yeah.
Well, I would assume that at some point you could be described as not having shit. You know what I mean? But I don't. Allentown's coming up now, but from my understanding of the history of it, it wasn't a place where you had a bunch of affluent people. You know what I mean? So I think it's a decision you make. You can continue to not have shit, or you can make that decision to create some shit.
See, like when I was growing up, my role models were the drug dealers, and you know,
it happens like that.
You know, and so like that's what I went to do, and there was like a 6-year work gap in my work history, you know, and it was like. And when I would go in the interviews, they'd be like, what were you doing this whole time? And I won't be like, I was selling drugs.
Survival, nigga. Don't ask me no dumb ass questions.
Nigga, I'm living.
The fuck you think I was?
I was self-employed.
Some shit I can't put on resume paper.
But then, like,
I was a CEO.
Yeah.
But
You know, and that's some mature shit. Like when you were saying how like you were sick of putting your peoples around you through the ringer, because a lot of people don't understand. Like when you go into jail, you bring your family into jail with you. You know what I mean? Like they losing you. You know what I mean? They're sending kites or whatever. You know what I mean? Like like if you got family, like whether a kid or your mom or whatever, like they're hurting as a result. So I mean, like just that maturity or that like foresight to be like, one, I'm hurting not just myself. You know what I mean? So that's a little bit of selflessness. And then to see the motherfuckers at like the career and be like, nah, I want better than that. Because like me, I came from a neighborhood the same, Braddock or whatever.
We went to Woody High.
Yeah, we went to Woody High. You know how Braddock was. You know what I mean? Like, and going through the same shit. And just being like, we can take this route. It's easy to take that route. In fact, like that's the route that you're groomed for. Yeah. And at some point be like, nah. You know what I mean? Like, and you were saying how like your point was you were in jail and you were just like, nah.
Plus when I went into jail, like I knew like 70% of the pod, which I was like, damn, dude, like what am I doing with my life? And I knew some of the dudes from Braddock. Like they told me my boy from Braddock died when I was in jail. Like
that's the worst, man.
Yeah. But that level of maturity is even much bigger to me to go, because it can go two ways. You could get into jail, see a bunch of motherfuckers and be like, oh, I can do this bid, I can do this shit. Like I'm good on the set. Like I know these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Or you could be like, damn, I know too many of these motherfuckers here.
Yeah.
Like this is like we're not out creating opportunities. We're not out in the world creating opportunities. We're just creating liabilities.
Yeah, it's why they call it the trap, man. Yeah, like it's just you get fucking locked into that street shit, and then like you don't see the outside world and the possibilities that could happen outside. Like, and plus I had a drug addiction too. I was like popping pain pills, and I was sick.
Oh, there's so many fucking don't talk about pain pills, because watching sports and I watch how they outlaw certain drugs and shit like that, but then they encourage all these fucking like you
opioids are crazy.
You tell motherfuckers
man.
They can't smoke weed, but you give them all these fucking opioids to deal with pain so that they can play. Like that's some bullshit.
There was a study that was just released that said that like the birth rate like of addicted babies to opioids is like doubled in the last few years.
Yeah, all you see is commercials, and like the same producer of OxyContin makes Suboxone, which is a maintenance drug. So like, what kind of fucking thing is that? You know, like it's like, hey, let's get you addicted to this OxyContin, which was my drug of choice, and then here's Suboxone to get you off it, which you need to be on all the time. Yeah,
and then because they pump it to you as soon as you get a toothache, as soon as you get a knee, anything. You got perks and like the whole nine, or like there's always a Tylenol 3s, the codeine and shit like that. But as soon as you have the slightest pain, they're like, here, take that, and take as much as you need. You know what I mean? And then once you build that addiction, like you said, I mean, you got the Suboxone clinics.
Yeah, see, I was raised. When I was raised, man, I was diagnosed with ADHD. So like they were pumping me with like Adderall or Ritalin and all these. And like the thing was, I feel like I was groomed to be an addict.
Yeah, well, we live in a society that does that, man.
I was going to ask about that because there's this I guess theology that ADHD isn't a real thing. Like ADHD is something that people that they've created, not necessarily created, but something they overdiagnose for the sake of getting you on drugs, getting you your money. Because there's no, and I think the reason is they don't implement any structure to combat it. They try to use drugs to combat it, which I don't think.
Well, I was reading a thing in studying France, because I work with this in my day job a lot, and not the day job that we never talk about, but like
Dave slowly there's a chink in his armor. He's admitted to a day job.
But like, I mean, like there was, like in France or whatever, like they were saying how like one we live in a market where drug companies can market their shit directly to the consumers, which is an issue. I mean, you get a 30-second commercial and they're like, do you have this? Well, go and get this drug. And then you just go to the doctor and be like, I got this. They basically groom you. They'd be like, hey, do you don't feel this way? Well, then go there and tell your doctor that you won't feel this way and get this drug. To make you feel better. But they were saying how ADHD, like it's a condition, but it's a condition that can be remedy through so many other means outside of drugs. And like they were taking like a side by side from France and America, and how like in France, they first and foremost, they try to do non-drug methods. One, you're not getting, you know what I mean, like it's hard.
You don't become
like it's the
dependent.
last.
You don't gain a dependency.
Yeah, it's the last route. Like they'll teach the parents how to like, you know, teach like the teachers, the school systems have it. They have like a whole system of behavior modification in place. And then at the very extreme situations, they'll actually like, you know, give you doses of medicine for it. Whereas with America, that's their first thing.
Yeah, and I think a lot of these ADHD cases, they don't have ADHD. They have a lack of focus because there's a lack of understanding of importance of sitting and focusing in class and listening. Like I don't know, man.
Well, we have a society we have a society that has, where there's more information being put in front of our faces than any other time in
it's
history.
Being shoved down our throats.
Yeah, like back in the day, all you had to worry about was corn. You fucking worked the farm for fucking 9-10 hours, fucking tilling corn, and then you came in and then you fucking ate your food. And
but now you have information being thrown into it in front of us.
Well, now you have just on your phone in your hand.
But see, the thing about that,
bombarded with information.
But you're not bombarded with information that's helpful. You're bombarded with storylines and shit like that. Like you're bombarded with, I guess, information, but it's not the shit. Like you don't just look in your phone. I mean, you can create a situation where your phone's sending you all the pertinent information about new studies and shit like that. Sure. But you got to go out of your way to do that. You know what I mean? But I open my phone, it's like, oh, Kim Kardashian breaks the internet. Like that's the shit that they're going to pump into you. And then they're like, oh, these kids have ADHD. No, it's a bunch of bullshit in their face all the fucking time. And a drug isn't going to help, because once you start giving them drugs, you know who's happening with drugs? Who's sensationalizing drugs? Their favorite artists. They're just talking about drug use. So, I get drugs. I get shit. When I got my wisdom teeth pulled, I got some Vicodin, and I was like, I'm about to sell these motherfuckers.
I took it. It didn't work. I actually had the Tylenol 3s that worked. And then I ended up having like a bottle of Perks that I just sat there for like a year.
Perks. I'm like, well, I'm going to take this shit and drink some liquor with this motherfucker. And I'm just going to have a good Saturday out fucked up off some Perks and shit like that. Which I would suggest you do once in your life, but not twice. That's all I'm saying. Like,
I didn't do that. Like it was weird because they were saying how like, because they say how like there's different like paths that like some people react to more than others. And I guess the Perks didn't work. Because I took the Perk. And it just didn't do anything. I still had the pain. Like, not only did it not give me any type of, like, I just didn't feel any fucking thing. But then I popped the Tylenol and I was cool. Yeah. So I just didn't fucking, like, you know
I would say with the Perks, I just slept more. Yeah. And then what happened, this is like 10, 11 years ago. Basically, motherfuckers, this is when Wayne was rapping crazy about drugs. And I was like, well, I'm going to drink with this shit to see how this shit goes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Luckily, it was just something that I didn't, like, it didn't latch on to me. But that's how people don't have ADHD. They're just very impressionable. And so they're going to focus on the things that are most pumped into them, in my opinion. Like, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist. But I feel like I've never met a person that has absolutely no focus. I just feel like they focus on the things that you don't think they should be focused on.
I think that.
See, what I do, I mean, I'm not. I feel like I do have sometimes, even now, I have a sometimes hard time focusing, like on one thing, and then I start thinking about another.
But this is not a society where you focus on one thing. That's not preach.
Yeah, no, I mean, the thing is, like I said, it's
a different society.
ADHD and ADD are just like any other disorder. Everybody has a degree of it. Everybody has a degree of autism. Everybody has a degree of narcissism. You know what I mean, it's when you get to a certain point that it becomes a disorder. You know what I mean? Like, so everybody has sometimes, you know what I mean, like hard focusing or whatever. And if you focus too much, then it's autism. You know what I mean? Like, so everybody's on a spectrum somewhere. It's when you get too far on the spectrum where it's like, all right, we need to like address this and deal with it. Cause like I'm like flighty. Like, I mean, like I be thinking about this and that and I go all over the place, but I'm not to the point where like I need to actually sit down and be like, you know what, I need to, you know, build some shit into my life, like to you know, make it, or you know, drugs or whatever. But no, but it is a thing. I just, like I said, I think the biggest issue in America is the fact that they over medicate most things.
Well, that's big pharma, man.
Yeah,
that's like I'm having that problem with the vape shop now and these new FDA regulations.
So how do you get into the vape shop, and like how does that become your outlet?
The vape shop?
Yeah, like what made you decide to open a vape shop? I
Well,
mean, I understand it's a growing culture.
Yeah,
obviously.
I've been vaping for a while now, and I was just like, and I know a lot of people like in the industry, like people in Miami that make the juice, like personal friends. Like when I went down to Miami, I stayed the night. I mean, I watched the Super Bowl at his house, and like he has a dope ass spread just from making e-liquid, you know. And, like, and then my boy in Los Angeles, and I know all these people in the industry, and like it was just declared 95% healthier by the University of Physicians in the UK.
Nice.
Than smoking cigarettes. And the thing is, it tastes fucking good.
Yeah, it does.
You don't smell like cigarettes. You don't have to deal with burning your house down. And you don't have to deal with any of that. But like now we're under attack. The vaping industry is under attack from like the FDA. August 8th, like they put in all these regulations, man. And it's just like, it's a scary time. And then PA is taxing us 40% on our wholesale.
Jeez.
So like it's just like they're attacking, but like it all comes down to like big pharma and big tobacco lobbying for these politicians to get these passed.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
so
saying?
they can be the only motherfuckers.
Yeah, and the FDA, but the FDA just regulated. They just made it okay to sell amphetamine gummies for kids with ADHD. For ages 6 and up. But like, how's that fucking
like,
America, man?
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
It's definitely for sale, man.
It ain't the land of the free and the home of the brave. It's the land of how can we get this money? Who's smart enough to manipulate the system to get more money? Like who's got long money?
It's the people with the money that
right. If you got long money for court proceedings, then you gonna get your shit off. And like I can't fight you if I got a small vape shop in Allentown and you doing all. I can't fight you, man.
Yeah.
You got your money's a little longer, so then you're gonna implement a bunch of shit that sounds good with the words that you put together, but when you really break down what you're saying, it don't mean shit.
Yeah,
like we got this
and it's scary,
America
man.
with this false sense of we're doing it for the well-being of our people. You're not. And America's never ever been about the well-being of its people. It's been about who the fuck can make some shit happen that makes their lives better. Who's got the means to do that?
Yeah. And it's crazy, man.
I'm gonna get tight. They be talking about
I get like, and I mean, I take personal insult, man, because like where I come from, you know, and I finally switched my life around, you know, and I get a business, and then all this shit happens, you know, and it's just like, it kind of like I'm not gonna lose hope because I have like strong faith that no matter what happens, I'm gonna be okay as long as I stay on the path I'm on right now.
I'm a firm believer that anything of the people you have to struggle for. So vaping is I don't want to say vaping is of the people, but it's a movement based on all right. So look, people are going to smoke, right? What's the healthiest way we can do it? What's the healthiest, more I guess user friendly / community friendly way that we can do it? And I think look, people are going to smoke cigarettes, but if you can vape like that, and like I hate the smell of cigarettes. I remember sitting in my aunt's car when I was 5-6 years old, and she smoked heavy, and all you got when you used to sit in the back of that fucking Buick Century was they would crack the back window a little bit, and other than that, you were just inhaling cancer. Like that's basically what you were doing.
And like
so if you can improve upon it, it's a movement of the people, and I think because it's a movement of the people, and they haven't figured out how they can get their hands in that honey pot, that's what happens. That's what's happening with weed.
Yeah, a documentary just dropped about the whole vaping industry, and it's called A Billion Lives. And they're saying 1 billion lives will be saved just through vaping. And like it's under attack.
Yeah, but them 1 billion lives, how much are they worth? Because them 17 lives that got that long money to get that legislation against it, they got America. Look, you got a capitalistic society. That's what it is, man. Capitalism in its root, it has nothing to do with the well-being of anyone but people who have money.
How does a juice get made, man?
All right. Well, it's vegetable glycerin, which is like in some of the foods we eat, and our body produces vegetable glycerin at sometimes.
Wait, we produce vegetable, so we're part vegetable?
We're part vape.
We got part vegetable in us?
No, I don't. I think it's from when we eat the food, you know.
Okay.
And then it produces.
So we're part vape.
Yeah.
So I gotta eat more vegetables because I'm probably like vegetable glycerin deficient.
You need the vape then.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Yeah, that's how I get my glycerin in me. You know what I mean?
Vape a life, save a life.
And then propylene glycol, which goes in the asthma inhalers.
Yeah.
And then natural flavorings and artificial flavorings to make the flavor, and then of course nicotine.
So where did they get the nicotine? Did they just like step on it like grapes?
They started making tobacco-free nicotine for like this whole because they're saying it's tobacco and everything, and they're making it in a lab, which is like the same thing as nicotine that you get from tobacco. But some companies use tobacco nicotine.
Okay.
But like the thing is, you don't get all those carcinogens that you get from the shit they put in the cigarettes. I used to smoke Newports heavy, man. Like there's fiberglass.
I would imagine if you lived in Allentown, you was getting a Newport.
You know, and then like the thing was, I have
Newport boxes,
Newport
box 100,
Kings.
Yeah, they say the Kings or the Honeys. Yeah. I used to hate motherfuckers was like, hey, yo, can you grab me a box of squares? And they give me like a laundry list. They be like, hey, yo, you got to get me the Newport King 100 in the black and green box with the motherfucker.
I still never understood the difference between a hard pack and a soft pack.
Yeah, soft pack. Like, it'd be like,
it's the same cigarette, ain't it? Like,
I come back, they be like, oh, man, you got me the one. Like, yo, nigga. And this is before texting, so like.
They just look like longer cigarets. Yeah. I get it.
Like, and this is before texting, so you couldn't just like text me a description. Like I had to fucking like remember that shit.
Oh,
like,
I remember, aunt used to send me.
Oh, back when we could get sent
buy
to
cigarettes with food stamps. I remember she sent me to the store to get cigarettes. With food stamps,
I do remember.
And she would like leave a little extra. She'd give me an extra stamp to give me a honey bun and shit. And I was like, first of all, my mom's gonna hate this if she ever hears me tell her this. But second of all, like a honey bun ain't enough for my freedom. But fucking like, you don't send me to the store with these cigarettes. I'm 8 years old and shit. I gotta walk down the street with a pack of cigarettes. But
it was legal. Like when I was a kid, it was legal to go down and buy fucking cigarettes. Like it's crazy to think about. It's one of those things that I don't even like think about until somebody brings it up, and I'd be like, oh shit. Like I used to be able to just go down, and it wasn't even a thing. My mom would just send me down over like $5, get a pack of cigarettes, take the change, get some penny candy. Yeah. That's how old I am. Pack of cigarettes and some penny candy. Yeah, it was $5.
They sold singles up on Knox Avenue.
50 cent Lucy's and shit.
No, they were like 25.
The 20. Yeah.
Newport.
I never got sent for a Lucy. It was always packs. I feel like if you buy Lucy's, you desperate.
Yeah, that's
you getting one cigarette.
Well, you don't. I was what, 12, 13.
I never smoked cigarettes. I've never smoked a cigarette in my life, so I've never gotten into cigarettes. It's always because again, sitting in the back of that Buick Century and fucking smelling that shit, it was just like, nah, I'm cool. Like, it don't even look cool to me. Like you just that shit stinks and your car stinks. Fuck those cigarettes. Now, if my aunt was vaping when I was growing up, I'd probably be vaping now.
Yeah, and smelling it, like that
shit smell like Sour Patch
Make you
Kids.
hungry and
like,
shit.
I like that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that is annoying, man, because it's all like fruity flavors and shit, like cereals and like all this like yummy shit, and you do get hungry, and there's no donuts or muffins around. Like, I be mad and shit. Like, y'all cooking in this? I'm like, no, I'm vaping. Like, I'd be pissed.
Yeah, I got a strawberry funnel cake in here right now.
See, that's what's like. The whole room smell like fucking funnel cake out this bitch. Not a funnel cake in sight.
So, what's the response been like to the vape shop here in Allentown? Like, if people are you turning people on the vaping?
Yeah,
well,
yeah, because people are coming in and grabbing vapes and stuff and saying like they'll post on Facebook and be like, I quit smoking because it's a drip lounge, and it's pretty dope, man. Like, but like there's some people are like not. Well, I mean, vaping can be that first initial investment can be a little expensive.
You gotta get the little device.
Yeah, and then after that, you save money though. You know, like,
right?
Instead of buying a pack every day for what, $7 and what's that, $42 a week, right?
Right. So you have here. You have it's funny. I got some beard butter that comes with some shit like this. So how long will this? This is what? How many ounces?
30 mils.
So this is 30 milliliters. How long does this last?
If
you're a heavy vapor,
it could go from 3 days to a week. You know,
okay,
and that's $20.
Okay,
but like that lasts me a week. You know, and
so you get $20 for a week of smoking with better flavors, healthier as opposed to $7.
Yeah, man,
a day or two to basically kill your lungs and kill your children.
Yeah, and I breathe better now. And I could fucking run long distances, like without being.
And you just look much cooler with a vape machine.
Yeah, blowing clouds.
It's cooler to pull out an iPhone in a vape machine than it is to pull out an iPhone in a long ass cigarette.
Well, there's this counterculture of like vape douches or whatever, and it falls in line with that whole like, oh, you got to be a man, you got to like eat meat, you got to like smoke cigarettes, the whole nine. It's like it's all like it sounds like America wants us to believe that being a man is killing ourselves. And I mean, like all this shit that's like, oh, if you're a man, you drive fast, you eat meat, you drink beer, you like, smoke real cigarettes, and it's like all this shit that make like
kill you
die. I gotta. Like, no wonder we fucking live lesser than shorter than women. Like we're too busy trying to fucking be a man. Like I'm cool. You can call me whatever the fuck you want.
I'm grown.
I'll laugh and be like, oh yeah, remember when you was at your funeral? Like, oh, remember you thought I was a bitch? Like, bitch. Like, who the bitch? That bitch.
Now you dead. Now you dead.
But yeah, no, that's crazy as shit. So like, when did this whole thing like come about? Like the shop. Like when did you guys get together and be like, yeah, we're gonna open the shop up?
We wanted to do like our own venue from like performing down the Improv and doing all the shows that we were doing, and we wanted to do our own venue. And then we were like, well, how can we make money too? And we're like, oh shit, a vape shop, because vape shops are pretty prominent now. Like there's one every, but like we was like, we could bring something different to the average vape shop by having performances, so we built that stage in there. It was started in like January, and then it just went from there, and it was just like, it got a good reception. We had good shows there. Ed was on a show there. For what? The Girth Day. Yeah, I mean, well, you understand, if you've been in Pittsburgh and you've seen comedy, I've been on every series of show that's gonna happen. Like I'm the hired goon. Yeah. Like, I'm doing something new. I need Ed to come through. I'm there. I'll fucking. But I really enjoy. I will say I enjoy performing at your spot because it's one of the cooler, like physically one of the cooler stages, and it's very intimate. Like you perform, there's a stage. See, there's a certain criteria for like feeling good on stage. I feel like you have to have a stage. I hate performing in places where you don't have a stage. Now, not stage necessarily. Like we do our show at the Playwrights downtown. It's not an elevated stage, but there is a designated stage area that is understood by the crowd. And I like being on the same level as the crowd there. But I really do like being slightly elevated but close. So at your spot, you're elevated. You're not way up, but you're elevated a little bit. But it's very close to the crowd. Yeah. You know what I mean? It is a vape shop, so you're not gonna be so far. And you got all the cool colors and the fucking paintings. Yeah, Dirty like did that. Shout out to Dirty, episode 83. So listen to Dirty was 83, right? 82? 82 was a good year. Yeah, it was. 82 was a very good year. Wait, but I do enjoy performing there, and I like doing like community spots too, man. Yeah, I like performing at places that are like community oriented. Yeah, like Drip is representative of Allentown, where it's been, where it's going. Yeah, you know what I mean, it's owned by one of its own, and it's moving in a direction of like a millennial type thing. So I like being there, man. I appreciate you putting me on that shit.
What's the reception that you've gotten from the hip hop community? Oh man,
hip hop community shows us mad love, man.
Well, I know you had Real Deal up in there.
Yeah, but it was packed. The bad thing about that is like our AC wasn't working, so it was like packed, hot, sweaty rap battles.
It was fucking grimy. Yeah, hip hop, man.
It made it intense, and it was
fucking
dope.
Hip hop, man. Can be comfortable doing hip hop.
Yeah, man, it was dope. Like it was a nice. How
do you know Real Deal?
Real Deal is from Mount Oliver.
Okay.
So, like...
That's not far from here. No. If you're not familiar with Real Deal, he's a battle rapper. He's been on Smack. He's been on King of the Dot, episode 65. You get a better understanding of Real Deal, one of my favorite out here. And he actually battled Averb out in Pittsburgh. Yeah. Averb's a vet.
He's going back up to King.
He's
of the
going
Dot.
against. I think his next joint is 100 Bullets. Yeah, I think that might be on King of the Dot. I know he's just battling 100 Bullets. I'm a super. Do you follow battle rap?
Yeah, well, I follow Real Deal. Yeah,
I'm fucking. Let me tell you something. I was watching Smack DVDs 12, 13 years ago. Like, my first Smack DVD I ever saw was when Murder Mook battled Loaded Lux in a clothing store. Like, people seen the Loaded Lux versus Murder Mook at
I remember
Total
that.
Slaughter when it was all
remember.
commercialized. No, I was watching it when they was both broke and fucking. Like, I've been following battle rap for
Murder
over
Mook
a
was
decade.
always on what?
He was on Smack.
Clues mixtapes, right?
He used to. Murder Mook's songs kind of suck to me, but I don't want to hate, but they do kind of suck. But I just it's like one of my passions in life. It's weird. Like, I really do. Like, I feel like here's what happens. People like wrestling.
Yeah.
And then I like battle rap. And battle rap to me is it's just a more urban version of wrestling. That's all it is. It's two people going into a fake battle with each other because they don't really like each other, but they present that they want to destroy each other. They're like all these weird storylines. There are alliances. There's a major promoter, but then there are other leagues. So you got WWE. What are other wrestling leagues? You got WWE. You got what? WCW.
TNT or some shit.
Right, so they have that in battle rap now, and I think it's just a more urban version of wrestling. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Shit's fake. It's like a soap opera. It's like a soap opera / reality show / showing of skill.
Yeah. Street Talk Entertainment did a good job, man. I was like a little iffy about a rap battle at Drip, but like it was like there was like 60, 70 people.
Oh, so when
there.
Real Deal was there was a battle. I thought he was performing.
Well,
Mountains
Real Deal came and made a guest appearance.
So he was doing mountains and cuts off the mountains and molehills.
No, he didn't even perform. He just made an announcement about like what's going on for rap battle community in Pittsburgh.
Fuck, I missed that. I didn't know that. Son, if I knew that was a battle,
I didn't know that was a battle.
You don't
man.
even understand how deep I'm into this battle rap shit. Like,
it's a scoop
I'm
from Street Talk.
deep
put that
into the
together.
battle rap shit. Like, I be fucking sitting there, and it's weird because I got kids. So like, I watch the shit on my phone, and my daughter like she be trying to come in the room like, get your ass out of here. They just talk about shooting each other. I don't want you to hear this.
Yeah, it was dope, man. And then we've been working with Team Epic, Space Jam Jiff. He's from your neck of the woods.
Yeah.
Norman Dean.
Cool. I'm sorry, Neck of the Woods. I always think of the Wayne Birdman song.
Neck of the Woods was also what? Outkast,
yeah.
too. And Mystical.
Yeah.
That beat was nasty, dude. That beat was nasty.
I do like the Outkast Mystical one. I probably would trend towards the Wayne Birdman song.
I don't really like
strictly
Birdman,
because
man.
I don't like Birdman, but this was Wayne at his pinnacle.
You mean,
And
Carter
Wayne
4?
at his this was I think this was on Birdman's album.
Carter 2, Carter 3 was...
Carter 2 was his best album.
Carter 2?
Carter 2 was his best album. That's when it started off with the mob.
Yeah. And that
Hard body,
dedication, that's when the
Is that
dedication...
the one when
Carter,
old boy
Carter,
from
Carter.
you know about the one with old boy Gilly was still writing for him.
Gilly the Kid.
No, that was Carter 1.
That was Carter 1.
Carter 2.
Fireman was
I don't
on that?
even know that it was confirmed that Gilly was writing
Oh,
for him.
all right, but
Cash
okay.
money, young money, motherfuck the other side. They can fuck with us if they want. I bring them homicide.
That was that picture of the rap battle. I
'Cause
don't know why I'm bringing up
So what
pictures on
was
a
Fireman?
podcast.
Fireman was the
Fireman was on Carter 2.
on one.
Carter 2 has Fly In, The Mob, Grown Man Shit with Currency, which was like one of the first like dope Currency songs. Currency was on the Squad Up mixtapes, but you are so fly.
Yeah, he was supposed to be. He was going to be a part of Young Money,
girl. Tonight, so yeah, Grown Man. We had Fireman. We had Shooter with Robin Thicke.
No, that was on 3.
That was on 3. That was on 3.
I liked
let me
4.
go. Fly
man.
In, Fly Out. The Carter 2. He had the because he was still doing the Carter format where he had like the interludes where he was just rapping with no hook.
I think-
Money on My Mind. Money on my mind.
Yeah.
Hustler music, baby. You know to know that.
That's when the dedication mixtapes was coming out.
Yeah,
too.
D boy. I'm a deep boy. I'm a deep boy.
I hated Lil Wayne before that.
He had
Man.
Feel Me. That fucking Carter 2. Let me just look it up. Now that's just all off the top of my head. I'm not even looking. Like that was my favorite Lil Wayne's fucking album.
I like Carter 4. I mean, it had the intros in there with Tech Nine,
with Busta Rhymes.
Had Busta Rhymes, Tech Nine, Andre. Like I think for
Carter 2's
Wayne
his best album.
2 for him was the best album. I think that 4 was like he had that fucking 6 foot, 7 foot like dip.
6 foot, 7 foot.
Yeah,
That's a
shit.
commercial
He-
That
song.
Mega Man dude too.
Mega Man, blunt rolling, like blunt blow, like
Blunt
that shit.
rolling.
Yeah, that shit.
Okay,
That whole CD.
Hold on,
the
hold on,
outro
hold on.
was crazy. The intro, the middles.
Let me just go through the Carter 2. And let me just explain why this is the best album. He goes, The Mob, Cash Money, Young Money. Then he has Fly In, which is like one of those Carter interludes. Then he has Money on My Mind, Fireman, Mo Fire, which is a reggae.
That's what I said. The one with
best
Fireman on
like,
it.
Mo Fire,
Gilly was
reggae
still writing
spot.
that.
No, that's Carter 1 where they said
No,
Gilly
but
was
Fireman was a Gilly track. If you listen to that shit.
I personally don't think Gilly wrote all Wayne shit.
I don't think he wrote it.
Because I ain't heard. I've listened to Gilly because I'm into it. So I listen to Major Figures, and I don't hear Major Figures in Lil Wayne, but whatever. Best rapper alive, grown man, hit him up, hit him up, hit him up. Yeah, Carter 2, which is another interlude. Hustler music, Receipt. I got to hold on to my receipt. That was Shooter was on Carter 2. He had I'm a D-Boy, Feel Me, and then Fly Out, fam. That's his best album. Carter 3 was his best commercial album. Yeah. Carter 3 had a bunch of commercial cuts. He had the T-Pain shit. Carter 4, he was... But I'm telling you, Carter 2...
4 was...
Carter 2... And Lil Wayne 07's... Man.
Yeah, I remember seeing him. I went to the Rough Riders Cash Money concert back in the day, man. And I remember they came in. I didn't like Lil Wayne then. I didn't. I thought he was like.
I always fuck with Lil Wayne. I like the Block is Hot album.
That's when that was
Hot Boys. I like
the Block is Hot album.
I like Juvie. Juvie was my
Juvie. Yeah. My cousin put me on the Juvie down in North Carolina back in like 90.
Yeah, I think early Cash Money Juvie definitely had a step on
that 400 Degrees.
400 Degrees.
That shit, man. Like we played that.
It's you and that big body Benz, huh? Yeah. You can't get old lady.
Yo, real talk.
Friends,
real talk. When Han came out, I thought it was funny. And here's why I thought Han was funny. He had that fucked up fade. Yeah. And Han is just such a weird... That's you and that big body Benz, Han. That's you and that old lady because you keep fucking her friends. But then when 400 Degrees came out, and then the Han remix came out with Juvenile and Jigga.
I know I ain't tripping. Those brother got the birds.
Yeah, and he was on that Rough Riders with Drag On.
This thing right here.
Yeah.
It's for my people in the street, Swiss Beats.
Yeah. And when he dropped that shit with Jigga, like, we ride all day, all night. That shit dropped that.
But the cut that got me into Juvie was Flossing Season on 400 Degrees. Yeah. And then there was another dip. I got to
that 400 Degrees was a front to back. And like for me, that was like, it was just crazy as fuck because I hadn't heard that sound. And Manny Fresh killed that fucking
album. That is definitely
a
transcendent album in hip hop. Yeah. That you won't get credit for. I fucking love Juvie. But I'll tell you this, Wayne, The Block is Hot was nice. And then his second album, Lights Out, that had Shine. It had Get Off the Corner. It had that song with Lil One with Baby saying Lil One, what's happening with you, big dog?
That was that transition.
Talk about some serious shit.
That was that
dog.
Transition from Hot Boys. Like that fucking Hot Boys album was
Let
hot.
me do with
shit.
Killing Them Slow Down. I'm talking about some getting money shit. Now it's gonna go down. Well, holla at me, nigga. Talk to me. Let me know something. Right now I'm tired of hustling. These rocks ain't doing nothing. Look, I used to fucking. I'm telling you, man.
That was like when P started that whole New Orleans movement. Dude.
People really don't give Master P his credit. That's what happens. Yeah. You know what happens, yo? As you get old, people stop really appreciating what you did.
Greats,
people didn't really understand how
No Limit was
influential. No Limit was putting out shit every Tuesday.
Every week, every Tuesday they had an album.
That's back when like the Tuesdays was you would look at the list of what's coming out months of the head. Be like, oh, I'm gonna be
National
down
Record Market.
Yeah, but that's when it was fun. Like now, I got the Apple Music shit, right? So now I might just go and I click on the new tab, and it might be some shit out that's been out for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
I'm like,
you don't even know.
Shit, like, this.
And it was it's crazy because it's crazy how like New Orleans and like that down south West Coast rap had such an influence on like the Pittsburgh, like Midwest, like kind of
Midwestern cities take a lot from down south.
Yeah, because like I mean, you would think we're closer to New York. You know what I mean? Like,
well, we had our influence. We had our influences from New. I think we were like because we'd be rocking Dickies with Timbs.
Yeah, we were like we were a mix, but for the South and the West to have such an influence as they had,
a lot of
with
Southern
them being
motherfuckers would migrate to Midwestern cities because like even if you talk to Midwesterners, a lot of their family lineage is from Alabama, Alabama, Georgia. Like my family's from Alabama and Georgia.
Yeah, my
basically
family's from
they
North
just
Carolina.
came north and found the most affordable place to
Yeah.
live.
Yeah.
You could
Yeah.
go to New York, but it's too expensive.
It
Even
is.
now, you know what I'm saying? Like
It's expensive to visit,
like
man.
yeah, like your girl says she want to go to New York for the week. And you're like, damn, bro, I got this G to just. It's a stack you talking about right there. Like even if I try to
It's
be
so
cheap
expensive
about
to
it, we
visit.
just stay
unless
with
you know
our
a nigga.
relatives.
Yeah, truth.
I'm
Like,
so
you
happy
still-
wifey's family from the East Coast, man.
Yeah.
Like we could fucking just we gonna
Drop
stay at your
in.
mom's crib. We're
Yeah.
gonna take that long ass drive across that bridge into New York, but we coming right the fuck back.
Truth. We got subways. We
Yeah,
gonna have
like-
to, you know.
So I think
big
that's
food cart.
why, and in Southern, it's more representative of a Midwestern lifestyle because I hate this word because I sound weird saying it. Rural.
Rural. Yeah, I mean, because like up around here, like New York is like that sound comes from a fucking square footage area that like is all fucking. The only park they got is a Central Park. Like the rest of that shit is straight concrete. Whereas like you know what I mean, like in a Pittsburgh, like we got the city. You go 5 miles outside of that bitch, you're
basically
you're
in
in
the
the
South.
middle of nowhere. Yeah, exactly.
You're in the
You know
South,
what I mean?
but with a winter.
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
got the accents too. These motherfuckers, like you got rednecks in Pennsylvania.
If you're from the Midwest and you go to an East Coast or a West Coast city, they're gonna say you sound country.
Yeah.
It was crazy when I first came to Pittsburgh. People used to say I sound country because I'm from Cleveland, and like it's weird now because I spent so much time here and like because I went to Pitt, I have so much East Coast influence because a lot of people from DC, fucking New York, they go to Pitt, so. You know, you young and impressionable, and I'm hanging around these motherfuckers all the time. So now all of a sudden my accent has changed. So I don't sound like I'm from Pittsburgh. I don't sound like I'm from Cleveland.
Yeah.
People always ask me if I'm from Philly or from New York.
Yeah, that's what people. Yeah, I get that. Shit.
I'll
When,
be like,
when you
nah.
get around, like when, especially because I mean, you went to Pitt or whatever, and so you're around all those motherfuckers.
Right.
I was around like Cleveland. Like I had roommates from Cleveland, Philly, New York.
would've
Like
loved to have a fucking
so
roommate
you
from
just kind of like pick on some of their like vernacular, some of their sayings. And
Well,
shit.
I will keep it real. They just sound so much cooler in New York to me.
Yeah.
Like the way they say shit is always like, you know what I mean? Like,
you just naturally pick up on shit. Yeah.
And like my best friend in college for years was a dude from the Bronx. So like me and him, we spent this. Damn, how do I say this without sounding weird as fuck? We spent every day together. Pause. But like that's the guy. Like when you go to college, what happens is we were talking about this shit yesterday at the show. I grew up extremely black. And I say that because in my neighborhood, there were no white people. Outside of authority figures like cops and shit like that. The judges were white, the cops were white, but everybody in the neighborhood was black.
Yeah.
So I didn't know any white people. So when I got to college, I'm naturally looking for the black people. So then I find a black dude who's from like an inner city. That's it, dog. We running together. Like fuck the rest of this shit. You trying to get money? I'm trying to get money. You try? Nigga, we running together.
And
like we not even
and finding like the black struggling motherfuckers in college is hard too because like I went to a school that was like kind of
struggle and understand each
like
other.
I went to school like because we went to Woody High or whatever, and like it was half and half. You know what I mean like. But like once I got to college, I would drop down to part of 5%. So I knew every black person on that campus knows every other black person on that campus by
Ain't
face
it crazy
or name.
how that shit go?
You know what I mean? By face or name,
You may
know
not even
every
be personally acquainted, but you can point that motherfucker out in the lineup.
And like you get a little head nod or whatever. But even in that, a lot of those motherfuckers come from, middle, upper middle, you mean well-to-do. So like to find even in that, so you got to drop down to 5% black. And of that 5% black, you might only have 5% that's on the same shit that I'm on. Like on that straight struggle, like, yo, I come from this. Like,
I don't have, my parents aren't college.
Exactly. And I don't know anybody that's going to college. All my niggas is hood niggas. You know what I mean? Like all my families.
Is still in East Cleveland.
It's true.
And I'm out here. They're looking at me like, what the fuck is you doing out here? And what happens is you get out there and everybody around you, the financial situation of college is taken care of, right?
Yeah.
And then you find a couple dudes like you, like my shit's in flux.
Yo, my
shit's in flux every semester.
There was a group of motherfuckers that I kicked it with hardest with was the Tupperware gang, where we would go into the motherfucking food like court or whatever, and we left with book bags full of Tupperware and food.
Yeah,
and it was crazy because motherfuckers was like, why is you packing your shit up like that? Nigga? Oh man, we was
never did that.
Tupperware
But
gang.
you went to IUP. I went to Pitt.
It was a different
Pitt
it was a different level.
That shit slide.
Yeah.
Pitt, nah, we see what you're doing, fam.
Motherfuckers would come to the crib. Like, that's how I really got the parties cracking. Motherfuckers come down, they knew I had some Tupperware full of burgers and some shit, some weed and some brew, and to get this shit cracking.
I used to throw parties. I remember that shit.
And I was like, 'cause I was a freshman off campus the first year. So I was like the first. Yeah, you can't do it at IUP either. But like the thing was that like they were overcrowded. So like they gave you the choice of either camping out in the lobby or you could just get a fucking apartment off campus. So I was one of the only niggas, like the only freshman with an apartment off campus, like with some burgers at late night. Like,
Everybody wanted to hit the spot.
Yeah, nah. I remember throwing parties at Pitt. Motherfuckers come through and shit like that. I was homeless. Sophomore year, I didn't have housing, so I just basically found a place to stay. I stole housing from Pitt, and I feel like it's my greatest achievement. I stole 2 semesters worth of housing. I stayed in their apartment-style dorms for the free $99.
Yeah.
The first semester, I was sleeping on my man's floor. Like, just my man's let me stay in this apartment-style dorm, and I just put an air mattress on his floor, and basically we coordinated, like, who's having company when.
Yeah.
And, like, what's amazing is in college, yo, women get attracted to your struggle. Like, yo, I'm struggling, but I'm trying. They be like, oh, my God.
Yeah,
like, I'm middle class. I don't even know nothing about that. I'm like, yeah.
You get that ambition,
come fuck
baby.
me on this air mattress where all my clothes are stacked in the corner folded up. Like, yeah, like, I don't know anybody like you. Like, yeah. And then my man's he used to live upstairs in his apartment style dorm, and he became an RA and moved out of his room, and I just moved into his room, and I swear to God, the white dudes didn't know the difference between me and my man's. Like, they never questioned me. Now, mind you, I'm 5'10". My man's is like 5'6". Like, they never asked me no questions. Like, Saturday he lived there, Sunday I was living there, and it was just like, yeah, we still got a black roommate. Like, they could have easily just gone to admissions and be like, who lives in this other room? And I had the best room in the apartment. Like, I had my own fucking bathroom, and they just never asked me any questions. I played it smart though. I never used the common refrigerator. Like, I never like was in like the common area. I was just always in my room. I had my music playing. And they just never bothered me. So for the entire semester, I was a stowaway.
You start to notice everybody else's patterns, so you can just kind of move through them.
Nah, listen,
without...
I stayed. So at Pitt, they got Center Plaza apartments, and basically in the apartments, there are 3 rooms. 2 of the rooms share a bathroom. We all share a kitchen, and there's a common space that's like a living room, dining room. And then there's one room that's larger and it has its own bathroom. And that's the room my man's was staying in, so I took that room. So basically, you don't have to interact. Like, when you walk in, you walk through that little common area, go right to your room, lock your door.
You're good to go, man.
So I was like, look, I got to play this smart. Like, I can't be an encumbrance on them to any degree. So I can't have my shit in their refrigerator. I can't need to be, I can't entertain company in this little common area. Like, I got a bed. I got a little couch in my room. I got my own bathroom. I just bring chicks there. Yeah. And I feel like the man because I got a suite. They like, damn, you got a suite? Like, you put your shit in early for your housing? Nah.
It was just a come up.
I'm actually not on the lease. But you don't need to know that. But then when you tell them you're not on the lease, say, oh my God, you like hustling. Like, yeah, I am. You know what I mean?
The hustle.
Yo, so just Pitt, don't hit me up. Trying to get some money for that because I didn't say which semester or if this is really true. This could all be a lie. This can all be a lie. So, tell us about the comedy. You said you haven't done comedy in a while. You're focusing on the entrepreneurial thing.
Yeah.
What influenced you into comedy?
I don't know, man. I always like even when I was young, man, like Richard Pryor, man. Like my mom's put me down with him.
RP.
The greatest.
Yeah, he's a beast, man. And Eddie Murphy, that
Pryor's the GOAT.
We can debate that. We can debate him being the GOAT.
We don't have to.
We can.
We've gone.
I mean, we're here. I'm always open to debate that.
We've done it. We'll do it
I
again
like
at
Richard
some
Pryor.
point.
I think he's dope.
Yeah,
the GOAT to me is Chris Rock.
You know what? I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at you.
Chris Rock's a beast, man. I don't know. I think I could relate to Richard Pryor because he was an addict too.
I'm okay.
And I feel like
I wouldn't debate that. I feel that.
I feel like now looking at his stuff, like even when I was young, I didn't understand, but I still.
Well,
thought
he's
funny.
the realest comedian I've ever seen.
And I like real.
Richard.
Yeah.
He was real and black as fuck.
Yeah, he was freebasing cocaine.
Back in the 70s when it would have got back when Bill Cosby was in the same time doing the white shit.
Yeah.
And so like
Well,
it
how
just
do you describe black as fuck?
because he would get on and be like, "Yo, white people this, white people that." Like,
But he
would
was
say,
still,
like,
but he was still sleeping with white women and shit like that. Like it wasn't like he
but he
like
was unapologetic. But he was first and foremost a black comic. And when he got on stage, he was black comic, and he talked about being black and the black struggle and being a comic. And he did it at the Oscars. He did it in movies. He did it with Gene Wilder. Like he was. Whereas Bill Cosby was a comic that happened to be black.
But did he do that more than Red Fox?
I'm not saying. No, I'm not.
So
he did it better than Red Fox.
Did he do it better than Red Fox?
He did it better than Red. Like I think he did it.
That's debatable.
Now, granted,
Red Fox
wrote
in 1970 had a joke that said you gotta wash your ass. That's the blackest shit you could say in front of you got to wash your ass.
I feel like Richard Pryor.
Like that's some shit my mom say
like,
now.
I don't think that, like when I'm looking, because Red Fox wrote for Pryor. You know what I mean, the Paul Mooney's and the whole nine. But here's the thing: the reason why Red Fox wrote for Pryor because Pryor had that stage presence, and that's what I'm saying. Like I mean, like his shit.
Red Fox didn't have stage presence, but fucking had a syndicated television show.
You know, I'm not saying that he did. I'm just saying that if I was
syndicated television show that was
but Richard,
that was also extremely black.
And here's the thing. I don't want to argue against Red Fox because Red Fox, that fucking his show. I was a kid in like the fucking 90s, and I still related to Sanford and Son as a kid in the 90s, and that's 20 years later. So like that is gold, and that'll always be like those jokes and that shit will always be funny. It's a classic. So I'm not taking anything away from Red Fox. I'm just saying that when I see like stand up, when I look at Richard Pryor, man, like I just can't find another hour in a time period and the influence that's better
I agree.
than Pryor.
I think so. When I think about it like this, right? So I if you told me Richard Pryor was the GOAT, I wouldn't say you're wrong. I would just say, to me, Chris Rock was the GOAT.
Yeah.
And Pryor, to me, will always have that standing as the realest stand-up comedian I've ever seen.
Well, him and Carlin. Carlin was real
I'm
too.
black, so Carlin. I can like Carlin, but I can't propel him over Pryor.
Yeah.
Basically, you could say it's a tie, but the tiebreaker is the melanin in
I'm a little biased in that one.
But I would say Chris Rock is my favorite due to his consciousness about what's going on, the consciousness, the intelligence.
Yeah, I like that.
It's not to say that Pryor's not intelligent, but Pryor, but Rock in the time period that he did it was allowed to be a little bit more open with his intelligence, a little more savvy about political shit and stuff like that. And I really just enjoy Chris Rock in his views on things. I think Pryor obviously is going to be top 2, 3 and all. I think he should be. And anybody you talk about, he's got to be top 2 or 3 because he's an influencer. He's very influential to all the motherfuckers you like. You're going to find Pryor in all the motherfuckers who've come out since I've been alive. But my favorite's going to be Chris Rock. You know what I mean?
And I feel you. I mean, like I mention him on a regular basis as an influence, and for the same exact reasons you said. I mean, and for him to do it as much, and like to still be doing it in a longevity.
I'm telling you,
in
once
which
he puts
he's
out
done
his next, once he puts out his next hour, that's going to come. If that shit is crack, you can't deny him as GOAT. To me.
I mean, his longevity has put him. And the only thing that fucks me is the fact that like Pryor had the medical issues that kind of, because it wasn't the fact that Pryor fell off. He just was unable to perform. He performed until he could. And then, like, movies and the whole night. He even had a fucking kid show?
Yeah.
Which is crazy shit. Like, I saw that, like, get me. Like, and then he got to a point where
he was an addict, man. He was an addict, and he dealt with those struggles, too. And that's
realist. He's the realest to do it.
Yeah.
The realest to do it.
He like, that's kind of like how I go about my routine. I talk about being in jail. I talk about being addicted to shit, you know? Like, and that's what, like, I'm not afraid to share that, and like, but I could turn it into a joke. And Richard Pryor was the master of turning his pain into jokes. You know?
Well, I think that's the best comedy is where you can take your life and transition it into something that's relatable to whoever comes to see you.
Yeah. I mean, was it Langston Hughes said that humor is laughing when we have every reason to cry.
Yeah.
I mean, so I mean that's really what we do. We take bullshit, and then who was it? I think it was Twain who said that there's no comedy in heaven. You know what I mean? Like, because
I don't agree. It's got to be some comedy in it.
well, I mean, you think
gotta be, man,
because comedy is pain, and you take pain and you make it into something funny. Like everybody's
you can't tell me there's not no pain in heaven and Jesus died
well, if
on
there's
the cross.
if there's pain in heaven, then it's not heaven, is it?
Well,
isn't that the point to get to heaven? If heaven is just like life, what the fuck are we here for?
Well, now you're debating spirituality and religion, and I feel like none of this shit's ever been confirmed.
Oh, no.
I mean, look, this is my.
I just think
stance.
it's fucked up that the story sounds so crazy, and then it's like, yeah, but if you follow the story and say, yeah, I agree to it, then your life is dope. But this motherfucker had to get crucified for you to have. But also, we put a dude and a chick together by themselves, and because he followed what the chick told him to do, all of y'all have to deal with sin. Like, come on, man.
This is where my spirituality. I was raised Catholic, right?
Word.
I spent a majority of my life thinking I was going to hell from all the shit that I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, most people should feel that way.
Then when I got clean and sober, I was able to learn about finding a God of my understanding that's loving and caring. And like now the thing is like I don't believe in. Now I'm not dissing Catholicism at all, but like
I'm not Catholic, so I don't give a fuck.
So I believe that God that I believe in now is loving and caring, and if as long as I'm doing the right thing, and I'm not going to be a perfect human being, and I am going to slip up. But I
feel like we're all gods, and I feel like if you subscribe to this, here's the thing. So I've been raised. I don't even know what I've been raised, but basically when I was younger, we went to a Baptist church, right? And you go to these Baptists and these Christian churches, and you're basically taught to live in the image of a person that you just have to believe in, and if you don't, you'll go to hell, even though you're subject to way more influences than this person was subjected to. Like, fucking God didn't have to deal with Instagram and fucking hoes hitting you up in the DMs and all that crazy shit. They had to get to him direct. And you couldn't just get to them. He had to go where the fuck you were at. And there was an air about him that was different than any other random person. He was like the original celebrity. So, I mean,
here's the thing that I don't I get about, one, I'm an atheist, starch atheist. And you know, I think religion is a fucking ridiculous sham.
I think most religions, or most of what religion is a capitalistic endeavor.
Yeah, I do subscribe to the fact that we are all gods. I mean, we're masters of our own destiny. Like, you know, when people pray for a miracle or whatever, like I look in the mirror and say, like, because who's going to bring that to me? Like, I'm going to have to make this shit happen. So, like, you know, when I look at a God, and then I got it tatted on me or whatever, but like the thing about moderate, like Christianity, religion, Islam, whatever the fuck your thing is that like when you said like, oh, these figures didn't have to deal with the modern day shit, and it's like, but the God that you're talking about is an all-seeing, all-knowing God. You know what I mean? Like, you mean to tell me he didn't see 2016 coming? You know what I mean? And
well,
like,
I don't. Well, that's what fucks with me.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not talking about you. I'm just saying like these martyrs that are like, oh, like I don't succumb to, I don't subscribe to this part of the Bible or that part of the Bible. So you're like, what you're saying is God was right on these parts, but he kind of was a little off on that.
I think what I struggle with from a religious standpoint is why put me through this shit as a test?
You have full power to do.
I questioned that recently because, like, in the past 6 months, like I buried 5 close friends due to the
right, like, and you bury 5 close friends when you're trying to do right, and it's just like, what the fuck? Why even?
But they're all direct results to the disease of addiction, man. And like that's
the thing is that, like, if you have somebody that's out there that has full power control over the whole situation, this is in that whole Catholic, all of the Abrahamic religions, all of the Judaism, the Christianity, Islam, all the Western religions or whatever, they all succumb to the same whole, like, this is all part of God's plan. And like, it's funny as fuck to me when you're like, oh, I'm getting shat on right now. I lost my home. I lost, Job or whatever. I lost my home. I lost this, that, and the other, whatever. Let me pray on it. You're going to pray to the same dude that put you in this situation? Like, he put you
to
in
test
this.
To test your allegiance to him. That's my issue.
And then if you pray, if the shit is already written, what the fuck is you praying gonna do about it? You know what I mean, like, can you? I guess if you don't pray, is he gonna go a different route?
My prayers are just giving thanks, man. I hit.
So I think every time I wake up, I'm blessed by somebody for that to happen, and beyond that, a lot of that has to do with me personally.
I just said, yeah.
And it's weird. And I would encourage anyone who's listening to interact with us on this. I mean, anyone at Ed Bailey Comedy, at Dave Bracy, at are you Matt Thornton
on what, Twitter?
Twitter or Facebook?
412 Matt.
At 412 Matt. My thing is, I just, damn, you gonna have me do this shit to pledge my allegiance to you is what bothers me. Because think about your relationships in life, right? Like you might have a significant other.
I think God, like the God of my understanding, I think He puts it in our hands. I think
that's what they say, but a lot of the shit is outside. Like a lot of shit you deal with is dealing with how people are conditioned to be. Yeah. People are preconditioned to be a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Like you make a choice in some things, but for a certain extent, you're preconditioned. And even if you take intro to psych, your id, ego, super ego. Yeah. The most basic shit is to be selfish. You know what I'm saying? So my motto is you trust people to the degree that they're doing what's best in their.
You're always making the best possible decision with the given information.
Family are the people that feel like your relationship is in their best interest. That's how I define family. Yeah. Like your family, if you feel like our relationship being on the up and up is in your best interest. So, like for example, if I had a woman and she was always testing my allegiance, I gotta leave her, fam.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. At some point, you gotta just know.
Leave her.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
and it's mad.
It's not that you're trying to hurt me, but you're constantly playing these fucking games.
Yeah,
with me. Why are you playing these games?
Yeah, we should be building each other up. It shouldn't be me having to prove that I'm worthy enough to be. That's
right, and that's what bothers me about a lot of.
Well, that's on them though. Dude. I feel like it's the personal inventory.
But that's the thing with God.
That's the thing about the religions that they try, especially with Christianity. Is they teach you that you need to prove that you're worthy of His mercy and shit like that. When it's like, motherfucker, I didn't even ask to be here.
Yeah, it's really like you put me in this. It's like putting a rat in a maze, and I proved to me.
What I'm saying? Like,
proved to me, and it's like
that's a good analogy, dude.
Yeah, like putting a rat in a maze and prove to me that you can get this cheese, and then when I get the cheese or whatever, I'm supposed to the rat's supposed to thank me for it. Like,
it's a fucked up system, man. And then your representatives of your system, don't be materialistic, this, that, and third. Motherfucker, you got an Armani suit and a Range Rover, and half of your congregation lives in East Liberty.
Bullshit.
And they're fucking under the poverty line. Yeah. They're fucking struggling. They're still tithing. I know, I work at a bank. I know so many old people who are about to get bought out of their homes, and they're still tithing 10%. Yes. And they're about to lose their home.
You know the defining moment in my whole, because I grew up in the church. My stepdad is a pastor. My mom is a first, woman of the church or whatever. Grew up in the church or whatever. The defining moment for me that kind of broke it all was I was sitting in church. I was about 13, and the minister was up there, and he was passing around a collection plate for tithes and offering, and he was like, and just so you know, tithes, God wants 10% of your gross, not your net, because God comes before the government. And I'm just sitting there like,
yeah, that's crazy.
What the fuck is this in the Bible? Like at that, and at that point, and then I looked, and then I looked around the congregation, and I saw, because the pastor drove a Cadillac, his ministers drove lesser Cadillacs, and you had this poor ass congregation, and this motherfucker is talking about tithes and offerings as it applies to net. Yeah, as it applies,
and he don't fucking tithe,
because these are going to him as it applies to net and gross,
and he don't tithe.
Tell me where you get net in the Bible that doesn't apply to fish,
and he don't tithe.
And he don't like you keep
talking to me about my tithe offerings, and you don't fucking tithe, man.
At that point, that was I swear to God, it was one of those it was one of those epiphanies, which is another term from the Bible, but it was an epiphany where I was just like, this might not be all on the up and up, man.
And I think
there might be some motherfuckers out here vulturing.
Well, people are fractured, man. You know what I'm saying? And not everybody's gonna represent. But I could tell you that the dude that mentors me, he's the most peaceful spiritual dude. Shit could be and he keeps his calm. And I feel like sometimes God speaks through other people to me. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like religion is what you make it.
Yeah.
and church is some bullshit.
Faith is what you make it. That's
See,
the hardest
I
shit
agree
since
with
Church
you.
is
UFC
bullshit.
ran.
Church is a capitalistic endeavor.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can't tell me in the history of the world that nobody's tried to monetize
Hey,
religion.
man.
Bro,
Religion is the most. Everybody
You got the
in
Vatican.
every place.
Did you see the
has a-
Vatican in
You got-
Rome?
Right.
Man, you got the
Right.
Vatican.
So everybody in every place of the world has a religion.
millions of dollars that went into
they're
that.
Creflo
going-
trying to buy
Yeah.
jets. Like
Yeah.
it's
Like if people monetize religion, so I can't tell who's authentic or not. So it's really about the church itself is the problem. I don't have a problem with people having faith in an almighty being and all that. Fine. Like I don't know why I'm here. I don't know how I got created. You know what I'm saying? I just know that what you're telling me is somebody created everything and I'm supposed to say certain things are negative and I'm like, well, he created that too.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
See, I'm a spiritual person. I'm not
Yeah.
a religious
I'm
person.
thankful for
no. There is a difference, and
Right.
like even as an atheist, like and because I'm
You're
an
thankful
anti-theist,
for the gifts
like,
you have.
Yeah.
yeah,
You're
like
thankful
there's
for that
Absolutely.
sound mind, body, and soul. I'm thankful to be able to for understanding. I'm thankful to be able to understand that I need to provide for my family. I'm thankful, but I'm not going to remove my hard work from that.
Yeah, from the
equation, and I'm not
equation.
going to act like somebody just like, oh, okay, you said you believe in me. Here you go, fam.
Yeah.
You Gucci.
And I
Like,
think-
this ain't a video game. Like life is fucking real.
And I think that, like, for me, like my spirituality, because I'm heavy anti-religion, anti-theist, or whatever. You know what I mean, like,
I
but
think
for
I'm
me,
anti-church.
yeah, I mean, and that's what he was like saying, spirituality versus like religious. You know what I mean, like, and like for me, like I can. It's weird. Like I consider myself a spiritual being in the fact that like I feel that everything is connected. Like even like in science, like everything. Like we're all atoms. We're
Why
all
have
like
religion
everything.
and science? That bothers me too.
Well, then religion is like you can't have religion and science because religion is a dogma that says do not question, whereas science is question everything.
I don't get that. Like,
But
how do you have
spirituality
religion and science?
Yeah,
Fuck.
that doesn't make sense. But like spirituality, like if you look at science, all of our atoms are connected. Every movement that you make affects me in some way, shape, or form. Those distant stars moving around are all on the same fabric of time and space as we are. So like when I say like an
continuum.
it's an interconnectedness that like I feel, and it's like that. Then they call it karma, but it's a really like if you put out bad shit, bad vibes. Eventually, that shit's gonna come back to you. Like, if you're an asshole, eventually people are gonna get
Yeah,
sick of
karma.
your
Yeah,
bullshit,
fuck yeah,
and they call
man.
it karma or whatever. And that's not a supreme being going, "You've been bad." It's just natural consequences
surrounding
to the
yourself with
negative.
disingenuous people.
Yeah,
you've been disingenuous to me. I can't be completely genuine to you because I don't understand your shit.
Yeah.
So all
Yeah.
of a sudden, you've got all this limbo and flux.
Yeah.
and every now and again, it goes back to people are gonna do what's in their best interest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can have a mom. I don't give a fuck. I love my mama, but I think my mom feels like our relationship being in good standing is in her best interest.
Yeah.
My woman feels like our relationship being in good standing is in her best interest. It's not because she loves all people. It's because she and I have an understanding, and us being in good standing is better for her. It's better for her children.
Yeah.
It's better for her family. Dog. That's how people act. People don't act based on, you get these weird motherfuckers who, you ever deal with somebody who's holier than thou or super holy? And like, they're strange
and
as fuck.
that's
It's a
mostly-
date a chick whose parents was like that, and we both was like, I was like, yo. She's like, I don't like my parents. I was like, yo, real talk, I don't like your parents either.
That's not Jesus, man.
That's all ego,
not-
man.
Like,
They're
and it's
not
crazy.
cool to be around.
I hate the Christians out of the least like Jesus. I'm like, come on, Jesus. Like Jesus hung out with the pimps and the prostitutes and the thieves,
Yeah.
and like he was in the gutter with the shit. You know what I mean? Like he turned the other cheek. He wore fucking like dirty ass fucking sandals. He ain't fucking like he was washing niggas' feet and shit like that. And I see rich. He said it was easier to get through the fucking. It was easier to pass a camel through the eye of a needle than it was for to get a rich man into heaven. And you see motherfuckers like spouting this prosperity gospel and this that and the other, and they're hating motherfuckers because they're different as any other. Like, are you kidding me, man? Like you're not like the Jesus motherfuckers. The people that I see most like Jesus are the motherfuckers at the ground level that are like devoting
'Cause
time to
they're real
charity.
people,
Yeah, they're
man.
devoting their time to charity.
And-
They're like non-judgmental. They're like they're progressive. They're trying to understand people. They're in the muck and the mire. Like they're not wearing suits. Like I went to McDonald's one day on my way to Penn State, and I saw three motherfucking like pastors or whatever the fuck, gators and chains, cuz like Jesus pieces. Walk into McDonald's like how the like Jesus piece?
Something like my Jesus piece. Huh?
Jesus didn't have custom cufflinks.
Jesus didn't have a Jesus piece.
Jesus didn't wear Armani suits.
And Jesus didn't have a Jesus
Jesus didn't eat at Ruth Chris and McCormick and Schmicks.
Yeah.
Jesus didn't have a Jesus
Fuck
piece.
out of here, man.
All right. We gotta.
Sorry.
Matt, man, we went out.
I don't even know why you be super religious and listen to drinking parties. Your God told you not to do this shit. You lying to yourself.
Am I the first sober guest?
I don't
We've
think so.
had
Clean
a
and
couple,
Who else did?
but there, Ed,
yeah, Ed doesn't drink. A lot of more. He was what, 80, 81?
yeah, 81 or whatever, and there was the AP collection.
Every now and again we get people who don't
But
drink.
it's a
I
blue.
don't necessarily. I encourage drinking because I don't think drinking is a negative. I think drinking
For
has a
some
lot more
people,
aid-
for me,
if you drink in excess,
I like to say I'm
overdoing
allergic.
it,
I break out in handcuffs.
If you overdo anything, it's bad.
Yeah.
If you overdo positives, they become negative.
Yeah.
I just have that personality.
Right, so you
And then you
understand
gotta know yourself
Yeah,
in
you
that,
gotta know
you know what I
yourself.
mean?
We
Like-
drink because we fucking like drinking.
We found a way to monetize it and make it an even keel or whatever. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
people like you guys
has
will
been
go
one of the
home.
cooler
You guys will go
conversations
home
we've
and go about your day, like and
No,
not
I'm going
pick
to
up.
sleep.
No, go. Yeah, well,
Yeah, I'm going to
see,
sleep.
I wouldn't even go to sleep. I'd be like drinking
Yeah.
all night, and then next thing you know, I black out, and I don't know where the fuck. I'm
Yeah, you gotta know your limits, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we every once in a
We
while.
can do rapid fire. We gotta do rapid fire.
Oh, rapid fire. Word. So, rapid fire. Where'd you get those motherfucking Hirachis?
The Hirachis.
Those are all blacks, man.
They're all black Hirachis.
That's hard. I go and I see these shoes and they're colorful and shit. I can't do it, man. I wear all black shoes. But I got these at Foot Action, I think.
I actually have those.
You actually
in
go
camouflage.
into a brick and mortar and buy shoes, man. You must be balling.
Yeah.
Why? Because
Nah.
I mean, brick and mortar. Like I walk past Foot Locker, I see all the nice ass kicks, man. But like, I can't afford it. But I can afford those kicks on clearance at like with a motherfucking Groupon or some shit online. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe.
These are the first shoes I bought in a year, cuz I used to buy shoes like every
You ever want to
month.
laugh? Talk to Dave about his shoe game. ask Dave what shoe, if he had to go play basketball tomorrow, ask him what shoes he wore.
Some Nike running dips.
That's not what you
That's it.
said. I asked this, we talked about this shit the other day. Someone said he would buy some Shaqs or
Oh, Shaqs?
Starbursts.
Oh, yeah. I
Or
definitely.
Starbursts.
If I was going shopping for
Or
basketball shoes,
Starbursts.
I would
No.
definitely get some Starbursts.
It's
Hell
a
yeah.
fucking size 12
What was the
Starburst.
Reeboks with the drizzle on them?
Oh, they were Reeboks. It doesn't matter. They weren't Starbursts.
Weren't they the Shaqs?
Shaqs had the drizzle, or Frank Thomas's had
Shaq
some shit like
started.
that too.
No,
The
Shaq
Reebok.
always had. No, Shaq
Shaq's
started
in
out with
Walmart.
Reeboks.
Yeah.
And then he went and got his own.
Right, he went to
Started
Payless and
selling in
Walmart.
Yeah, way less
Kmart.
Walmart, whatever.
What I would tell you is, if you you said Starbursts, man, fuck out of here. Would you ever wear Starbursts? Nah. Hell no, you wear no fucking Starbursts.
I'm not wearing them to the club, but
You're wearing them to hoop?
I wear them to
So
hoop.
you're wearing them in a
the 3
situation where
times
your
a year.
actual physical well-being is on the line.
Because I trust them that 2 or 3
You don't
times
trust
a year.
them little paper mache Starbursts to protect your ankles.
But who's hooping in J's for real? You actually hoop in J's. You
I've
buy
hooped
a
in
fresh.
J's,
No.
LeBrons.
Did you hoop in J's after you had them for a minute? Or did
Yeah.
you go out and buy them and hoop in them?
I hoop in shoes
Fresh
that no
ass
longer
J's.
are like fresh
Yeah,
material.
well, yeah, okay,
but they're
I
still
mean-
J's.
Yeah, no,
they're still
I mean,
Nikes.
I got
They're
a pair.
still very good
I got
shoes.
a pair of Grant Hills that once they get old,
Stop trying
I'll
to
put
throw
in.
the fucking Grant
But they
Hills
Grant Hills.
into the conversation
The
like Grant Hills are
They
still
Grant-
relevant.
They Grant Hills.
It ain't 96 no more.
I had a pair of Grant Hills too.
I had a pair of Grant Hills when I was in the fourth grade.
I got a pair of Pippins. You know what I mean?
A pair of
ones-
Pippins.
Yeah, I got a pair of Pippins. The Air. You remember the dips? Yo?
Okay, well those are still
There was-
tough.
yeah. I
The
mean, I got
Pippin
it.
with the AIR.
The AIR on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about
Those
the
are
Pippins
dope.
that look like fucking the tunnels. The fucking,
I don't even know. All I know is the AIRs.
You don't know much about
yeah.
Pippins, but you're not. Listen, don't. ever
Once those
come
get
around me
old,
with
I'll put
fucking
them on.
Grant
But like,
Hills.
if I'm gonna go buy a pair of shoes to fuck up on the court, I
I don't
No,
buy
I
a pair
wouldn't
of
do
shoes
that.
to fuck up on
I
the court.
wouldn't
I
do
look
that.
at the shoes.
Once I've worn them and they're not for
Yeah, I
shame.
look at
Yeah.
my basketball shoes that I have and which ones are most fuck up on the court possible. And I'm like, oh, well, I'm hooping in these now. You know what I'm saying? But none of them are fucking Starburys. Like,
Yeah.
bro, you grown, man.
I didn't even expect to hear Starburst.
Yeah, man, we had this conversation. What if you could pick one event or choose one event that you want to do at Drip that you haven't done? What would it be?
I honestly, man, I would like to promote like the arts, man, like in the community, and be like, look, man, that like you could pursue your dreams. The street, there's more than just Freeland Street and Climax Street and Excelsior and all these fucking bullshit street things like that go on. It'd be like, look, you could do something for yourself, be artistic and pursue something, you know, like, because I didn't have that growing up, you know, like I didn't.
Well, it's not something that's necessarily preached to.
Like I would like to do like, I mean, something promotional like that awareness that there's something more out there than
like a workshop or something that
Yeah.
like, I mean, like empowers the community, maybe some knowledge or whatnot.
yeah, like
Yeah.
And be like, look, you could do like whatever it is. It's social media, because a lot of kids are good with social media too, and you could get paid to do that, you know.
And that's
You know?
basically all the fuck we've been doing.
Yeah. You guys all are social media. Your presence is heavy.
Well, he's super social media. They be on social media all day. I be working. I'm not fucking with strangers on the internet talking to y'all and getting arguments with you about shit. Fuck y'all, man. I love y'all, but fuck y'all with these opinions and all that. Like, just let me have my shit. Like, I'm not gonna argue with you about my opinion, and neither one of us have a degree in this shit. Like, we just arguing about our opinions. Nah.
Man. So, top 5 rappers in Pittsburgh.
In Pittsburgh.
Your personal favorites.
See, I all right.
That's you gotta get this little tough.
All right.
JADA top 5 dead or alive. And that's
Yeah.
on PIT.
See, I mean, I got 4 close friends, so I mean,
Yeah, that might.
Are they gonna listen to this episode?
yeah, probably.
Yeah, well, right. So your
Well, let's
top
throw a
5 all
disclaimer out
time.
there. He loves you, but you might not be top 5 there.
Yeah.
Work your ass off to get into this top 5.
Top 5 all time, just anywhere. I mean, just whatever. Because I know how that be. Sometimes I'd be like, I don't want to, you know. But top 5 all time.
Top 5 all time, like
In your-
hip hop.
hip-hop, yeah.
All right. Big.
Yeah.
Yeah, Big would be up there. Busta Rhymes.
He slept on heavy, man, but I love him, man.
I love Busta
his
Rhymes,
longevity, his fucking his versatility. Yeah,
I'll throw Pusha T up there.
I'm in there with Pusha, man. That
Pusha.
motherfucker, he is.
And then 2 new school, Big Sean and Kendrick.
Okay.
Yeah, now top 5 all time.
All time? Wait, all right, all time. All right. Big, Busta, Pusha T. I think he's super slept on.
You know, I think, I agree with him.
I like Kendrick a lot, man. I like Kendrick a lot. And Andre 3000. I forgot about him.
As long as
not
you
bad.
take
That's
Big
not
Sean
bad.
Out of there, we're good. So where can they find you?
We're at Drip Lounge, 749 East Warrenton Avenue. We have a show coming up with Alex DePola and Jesse.
Episode 85.
Yeah, Jesse Irvin, Eric Webb Jr. September 3rd. Doors open at 8. Show starts at 9. Also, I started doing sales for a juice company called Funnel Vision. Juice. So Funnel Vision Vape is a strawberry funnel cake. We've been pushing it. We're about 150 stores right now.
Nice.
Okay.
Been doing that. And I don't know, Matt Light just texted me asking me to get on his roast battle down the Improv. So,
All right.
What about your online presence?
but online presence?
Yeah, where you at?
Oh, okay.
Where can
I
they find
thought
you?
I was promoting stuff.
Yeah, no,
that
you're
in
promoting.
addition to-
Yeah,
yeah.
you're
Well, Matt
promoting
Thornton,
yourself.
Matt Thornton on Facebook. I don't know why I made my Instagram handle, so it was an old nickname, but Blink of an Eye, and it's spelled with a C. Blink of an Eye on Instagram. 412 Matt on Twitter. I should probably make them all the same.
And that would probably help. But this is recorded and it's on the internet forever.
And then
so
Drip
you can
Lounge
just-
and 412's on all forms of social media too.
Where can you find that?
Twitter, Facebook, Instagram.
Just at Drip Lounge.
Yeah, at Drip Lounge and at 412 TUBE. Tube. Some
There it
people,
is.
yeah.
412.
Dave Bracey, let them know where they can find us.
Well, if you're looking for us, you can find us on epicastnetwork.com/partnerspot. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Libsyn, and Google Play now under Drinking Partners.
Nice.
And you can find us on IG, Twitter, and Facebook at Partnerspot.
As always, want to thank our guest, Matt Thornton, coming
you,
out,
guys.
hanging out with us,
For
having
real.
this conversation. And you know what it is. Drinking Partners is the crew. Epicast is the family. And we out.
Peace.